Welcome to the Blogger Genius Podcast, brought to you by MiloTree. Here's your host, Jillian Leslie.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Before I start, I wanted to announce that David and I have opened our MiloTree membership group to everybody. What you get in our monthly membership is tech support for your blog. So all those nitty-gritty tech problems you have or tech questions, we're there to help you and to answer them. 2, you get a monthly workshop where we teach on a certain topic related to growing online business, and a monthly Q&A session where you can come and ask us anything about technology, about growing your business, about marketing, about social media. We're there for you. Check it out. Go to milotree.com/membership and you can join. And by the way, there are no contracts. You can cancel at any time. But it's a really, and I forgot to mention that what you also get is community. And it is a wonderful, wonderful group of entrepreneurs all supporting each other, learning from each other, and showing up for each other, which I think is so cool. So please, again, milotree.com/membership. You have any questions, reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to answer them. And for today's episode, I have Evie Alvarez Flores from Evie's Creations on the show. And this is really fun because what we are talking about is TikTok. It's no longer just for 12 and 13-year-olds. I think we're starting to see the explosion of TikTok and how to use it in your business. The thing that I will say is it's fun. So if you have not downloaded the app, definitely do. Start playing around. It's an interesting platform, and I really think this one is sticking. And people like us are starting to migrate over to TikTok. So Evie and I talk about the platform, what's unique about it, how you can make money on it, why you might want to show up there. So without further delay, here is my interview with Evie. Evie, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you so much for having me, Jillian. It's an absolute pleasure.
I met you in my Facebook group, the MiloTree Mastermind group. I was experimenting with this new Facebook feature where it's almost like Zoom on Facebook. And I said, hey, I'm going to do, it's like, I think called a messenger room. And I did it, and you came into the room. And so we got talking, and we got talking about TikTok. And I looked at you and I said, will you be on my show?
Yes, I love that. Yeah, I'm not sure how I got into your group. I think one of our mutual friends might have added me, but I am so glad I found it because it's just been such a wonderful little place to go, to kind of encourage each other and also to get feedback. It's been amazing. So it was a pleasure. I'm so happy that I got to randomly go into that group.
I know. And just and it was so interesting because I was saying that I had just recorded my first TikTok with the help of my 13-year-old daughter, and you're like, oh my God, I totally understand TikTok and I make money on it and using it. And I was like, okay, we need to talk. So first, before we launch into talking about all the different ways you make money, including TikTok, let's start with your entrepreneurial journey.
Sure. So I started blogging super differently than most people did. I actually have a background in nursing. I was in public health for a long time, but I'm actually chronically ill. I have 8 autoimmune illnesses and a very rare genetic disorder. And it got to the point where I was just too immune compromised to be around patients, especially because I was in public health. I was in infectious diseases. So at that point, I decided to kind of step back from that world and came home. And we had just bought a house here in Lebanon Township in New Jersey. I live in a very rural part of New Jersey, the part that is actually the Garden State. Everybody has this sort of idea that New Jersey is nothing but turnpike. And I actually live where we have mountains and waterfalls and trails and farms. So we bought this ranch in the middle of nowhere. And I decided I was going to fix up my little ranch in the middle of nowhere. The way I bonded with my stepfather was basically building. So I have been in his workshop. My dad is a constructor. Well, he was a contractor back in the day. He's now retired because he's 85, but he was into construction. He was also a carpenter. So I laid my first floor with him when I was like 12.
Wow.
So I learned all things DIY, and I came home and I decided I was going to blog, and I started, building stuff for the house and refinishing furniture, picking up curbside finds. And randomly, I also started baking as a source of income because one of the many venues that my father had in his whole commercial property business was a bakery. So I grew up kind of hanging out in that bakery
Okay, no, wait.
alongside him when
What year is this that you
this is
moved?
2009.
Okay.
I stopped working 2008. And 2009 was when I decided I was going to make my house look better. So my income was basically baking allergen safe goods to, sort of a home baking business, but I would work it out of the commercial kitchen that my dad had. And one day I was doing a birthday party and somebody said, hey, that piece of furniture that's on your site? And I was like, yeah, which one? And they were like, the one that looks like it's for a princess? And I said, yeah. Where did you get that? And I said, well, I refinished that. That was for my daughter's birthday party. And like, they just looked at me like I had said the most amazing thing. And they were like, you refinished furniture? And I said, yeah. And they were like, would you do something for me? So I started doing it professionally and kind of stepped back from the baking world. And before I knew it, my blog was strictly a DIY blog.
Oh, how funny. And then
Yes.
so you would be doing posts. So are you selling the
So
refurnished furniture and blogging about it?
I was in the past. For the first 5 years of my blog, that's what I did. And then somewhere, I think it was 2012, one of the pieces that I had refinished for a client somehow made its way over to Twitter and found some virality very early on in those days. I mean, viral today is millions,
Hmm.
viral back then was thousands. And so it had a few 100,000 views and shares and retweets, and Flea Market Flip saw it and decided to go ahead and give me a call. So I, very early on in my quote unquote blogging career, got to do Flea Market Flip on HGTV, and that just opened the doors for everything. That was kind of what did it for me.
Okay, first of all, what did you do on the show? What did you refinish? And then
So
what doors opened for you?
I decided to go the very traditional route because as somebody who was restoring antiques at that time, I didn't want to just slap paint like acrylic paint on a piece and call it a day. So there was a lot of refinish, like actual refinishing done on the show, which took up so much of the time for the flip day. But we ended up doing we actually built a rolling bar cart from two garden carts. Like we soldered, took it apart, completely took it apart, and then put it all back together to a cart. And that was our mirror project. So we made our own little mirror with like fake mercury glass, just the
Hmm.
Krylon spray and some apple cider vinegar. And then we refinished a very beautiful old chair. I mean, the chair had to be, it was a bishop's chair. The chair had to be at least 200, 300 years old, and it had come out of a giant Catholic church, beautiful church in New England somewhere. So we actually restored that the proper way. We took the entire chair apart and completely fixed everything that was wrong with it and just varnished it. We did not paint that beautiful chair. And we also did a captain's desk, which was also a refinish as opposed to just spraying paint on it.
Nice. Okay, and then from there, what doors opened for you, and how did you move your business forward?
Well, after that, just having that little as seen on HGTV on my blog, even
Mm.
though it was just one episode, was huge. That was the first time somebody from, a different type of world to me, which was the home show, trade show, and conference world, reached out and said, hey, we're doing a local show in Philly and we are looking for people to go ahead and speak, and do sort of appearances. And would you be interested? And there was a blogger that was local to the Philly area that was kind of in charge of spearheading that whole new part of that home show. And so she was like, hey, there's this girl, Evelyn, you should check her out. which was huge and helpful and wonderful. And they reached out, and that was when I started basically going from home show to home show all over the United States of America and just talking about how to refinish furniture, how to DIY green, how to make sure that it's era appropriate if you're doing restoration and you're using the right products, etc. And that was when I started getting sponsored by brands.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. And are you still doing that?
Yeah, so currently, because I am so immune compromised, I had to step back. I haven't done it since January because I have been in full quarantine because, again, I am very
Yes.
immune compromised.
Yes.
So I've kind of canceled my upcoming shows. I did have one that I was supposed to do in Kansas City, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do it because it's out in the fall, but that to me is still kind of a risk. But
Yeah.
yeah, I still do it. I love doing it. I have found that for me, what works the best is finding like a few brands that I am gung ho about, that I believe in greatly, because I personally won't represent anything that I don't believe in. Like I don't recommend bloggers to do those one sponsored blog post per brand type thing. Like I prefer you develop relationships with the companies that you represent. For me, it's worked out. I worked with a company called Old Fashioned Milk Paint for over 5 years, and then it successfully sold. I didn't just do the blogging for them. I ended up doing marketing for them, which was amazing. I've also worked with this other company called Unicorn Spit since the very beginning.
Sorry, wait, what
She
is
was
the
brewing it in her
wait,
kitchen.
Wait, what is the name of the company?
It's called Unicorn Spit.
Okay, you said that like as if it just kind of, rolled off your tongue. And I'm going, wait, did she just say what I thought she just said? Unicorn spit.
Yes, it's a
Okay.
paint, a stain, and glaze all in one. And I have worked for a long time with that company. So for me, it is kind of like a very common word that comes out of my mouth with no thought whatsoever.
Okay. Got it.
But I could see how you're like, hold on a minute.
Yeah, let's pause there. Okay. Got it. I
So,
will of course be Googling that after we get off this call.
well, I wouldn't be a good blogger if I didn't tell you to check out my website for my affiliate link.
Okay. Great. Great. Okay. Here and here
So,
plug your blog so people can go.
So my blog is evyscreations.com. That's EVEYS creations plural.com. Every social media is Evie's Creations as well.
Okay, perfect. Okay, great. So anyway, so you're working with these two brands and you've developed what I like about what you're saying is it's not that one and done philosophy, but that you're digging in and building relationships with these companies, especially they seem like smaller brands, and therefore you can provide a lot of support and promotion and even on the like boots on the ground marketing advice for them as an influencer, as a blogger, seeing what people are doing. Am I right about that?
Yes, I mean to a certain degree, I it definitely helped. So Old Fashioned Paint Company was actually the first type of milk paint on the market. Like the owner's father, the ex-owner's father, actually came up with the concept of marketing modern day milk paint. So it had been around for, I mean, since the 70s. It really had been around since the 70s and 80s. But my job was strictly to make it a household name. It was kind of a small company. Unicorn Spit was a very small company when I first joined. We were lucky enough that it became global and huge, and it's actually now owned by Eclectic Inc., which are the makers of like E6000, which everybody uses in the DIY world. And it's still I like that it still feels like a small company because the owner Michelle is still the head of the company, the president, the face of the company, and she still continues to work as not just somebody that's promoting her brand but also a creative mind. She's still making prototypes, so I enjoy that process. And I think it is important to find a company that not only you believe in but that you form a bond and a relationship with. Everybody knows me as the Unicorn Spit girl. Everybody knows me as the girl that used to do the Old Fashioned Milk Paint Company. And I actually have been working with another brand. It's a large brand, Cricut, for a very long time, so everybody knows that I'm the Cricut tutorial girl.
Mhm.
Which has been fun and amazing. I mean, just getting that foot in that door, and being yourself. Honestly, I came into Cricut in the funniest way possible. I was at a blog conference and I sat down at the bar and had a conversation with the old marketing representative, and she didn't know who I was. I didn't know who she was. So I was just kind of being my crazy self, and we had this long conversation about retro clothes, about the 50s inspired style that she rocked so well. And before I knew it, I was traveling the country with them. Like I
I
was
love
lucky
that.
enough to go on the
Yep.
cricket tour with them, So
Hmm.
it's being yourself. Ultimately, that's it. I am not by any means an expert, at marketing. I am not an expert at being a blogger. I always joke that I'm the worst blogger because I forget to blog. And if you look on my blog, that's you see a testament of it. I hardly ever write it down. I
Mm.
am much better at doing the videos. I am much better at presenting myself in public on a stage and saying, this is why I love this company. So, don't feel like you have to change who you are to be successful. Just be you, but definitely you have to have a drive, and you have to understand that you will get a whole bunch of no's, but for the yeses that you get, those are the ones that you should invest your time in.
Absolutely. And I love this idea of relationship building because it's so much more profitable for you to have these long-term relationships and to do the work, meaning to show up and provide value for these companies. And that if you can continue, if you can be smart about how you can continue to work for them, with them, coming up with ideas, pitching them to the companies, you can create this level of trust where you make them look good. You make their marketing person look good. They want to go to you because they know you're going to deliver.
Yeah, that I 100%. That's it. You become kind of a part of their family,
Right.
especially when it's a small company.
Yep.
I mean, Michelle is one of my closest friends. Like I love Michelle. Like whenever I go do unicorn spit stuff in Kansas, I literally stay at her house and we hang out and we have fun. And
Mm.
obviously that's a very unique situation. Not every brand is going to be that way, but it has worked out for me to just be natural and be who I am, and not just talk about unicorn spit, but talk about my struggles. Why do I DIY green? Why do I only use green products? Because I'm chronically ill. It's a part of who I am. It doesn't define me, but it
Hmm.
is a huge part of who I am and my identity. So I definitely talk about that. That's my opening statement. When I'm on stage, I'm the DIY girl, that DIY green girl, because I'm chronically ill and I don't use products that are toxic or chemicals that are going to off gas and hurt me, and that's part of being who you are. I think is important. It's accessibility, really.
Absolutely.
People can identify with it.
And it's showing vulnerability,
Yeah.
which I think is great. Okay, so what was interesting though, what bonded us was this TikTok was your excitement around TikTok. So I feel like I posted in my Facebook group called the MiloTree Mastermind group, and if you are listening and you're not part of it, please join the group because it's a really lovely place and I'm in there all the time. But what was so fascinating was, I think during quarantine especially, I've been seeing TikTok just showing up in my feed. People are posting their TikToks, but not just as something that 12-year-olds are doing, but that all of a sudden I'm seeing moms posting on TikTok. And I posted in my Facebook group, who's exploring TikTok? And all of a sudden you post something in your Facebook group, and when people just start commenting, you can feel there's some sort of energy, juice around it. And all of a sudden, all these people are posting, I'm on TikTok, I'm on TikTok, I'm thinking about TikTok. It's like you can see that it is now the platform to start exploring, to start, playing around with, learning about it. So of course, I've got my 13-year-old daughter who is a TikTok expert, and we did one of she taught me the choreography to one of those famous TikTok dances, and I actually posted it on TikTok. And now I have two TikTok accounts. I have MiloTree and I have Catch My Party, which is our original site. And literally I've posted two dances. However, I'm starting to see, I have this podcast and I was thinking, you know what? Typically I go live with my episodes on Wednesdays and then I post them into my Facebook group and onto my Facebook page and onto Instagram. And I thought, I could post about my current, my new podcast episodes on TikTok. So I'm going to start doing that. But let's talk about first of all, TikTok, and then how you are monetizing TikTok, but also how you think about other social media networks like YouTube, which I think is really important to your business. So let's start with TikTok. Tell me your experience when you got on the platform and how you think about it, especially for older people, not just 12-year-olds.
I love that question. I am so excited about TikTok. I keep telling everybody how much time I waste on TikTok because it is a time suck. So I decided that rather than it be a time suck, I would actually use it to my advantage. I resisted joining. I have teenagers too. I have an almost 18-year-old. He's going to be 18 in 20 days, which I can't wrap my brain around.
Oh,
And
wow.
a 16-year-old, and my daughter is 14 in August. So she's also a TikTok like genius, of course, And
Yes.
she would say, you should see all these people on TikTok. There's artists on TikTok. And I would say, no, I'm not 12. I am not about to start dancing on TikTok. Like that's not something I personally want to do.
Right. Oh, wait. And let's step back for a second and explain the dancing on TikTok. So it looks like what happens is there are these influencers who come up with these dances, and most of the dances are kind of arms and it's like you're not necessarily moving around the room because you need to be able to to be videotaped on your phone. But there are these dances, and then people learn the dances and then recreate them and post them. So there are these TikTok dances that go viral. And everybody seems to know them. My daughter's in her room, like learning the choreography for these very specific dances. So that was like, I would say, kind of the way TikTok got, at least in my mind, it was the dance platform. It was like doing these kind of cool, funky dances. But then now it's become so much more. Imagine growing your Instagram followers with no work. Highly engaged followers. Now imagine it with Pinterest, Facebook, YouTube. How about new email subscribers? Seriously, no work. This is all possible if you install the MiloTree pop-up on your blog. David, my husband, and I started our blog, Catch My Party, in 2009. We've since grown it into the largest party ideas site on the web with millions of page views per month. We did it with hard work and our secret weapon, our MiloTree pop-up, which David built for us. We've grown our Pinterest followers to over 1.3 million and our Instagram followers to over 164,000. And right now, 8,000 other bloggers just like you are using MiloTree to grow their businesses. With MiloTree, you can focus on growing one platform or switch between several. But here is the important thing. If you aren't converting your visitors into followers, subscribers, and customers, you're honestly wasting your own traffic. Make this asset, your visitors, work for you. Since we're bloggers, we get bloggers. So we've optimized MiloTree like crazy. It's a snap to install. It won't slow your site down. It's Google friendly on mobile, and it's so darn cute. You can even add animated sparkles to your pop-up if you like. Sign up now and get your first 30 days for free. Please pause this episode and head to milotree.com to sign up. I know you will thank me. As a bonus, once you sign up, I'm going to send you weekly actionable business tips to help you grow your business. I've been at this a long time and I have a lot to share. Remember, your scarcest resource is not money, it's time. So let MiloTree free up time for you so you can focus on the other important parts of your business. So what are you waiting for? Hit pause, head to MiloTree, and sign up today.
Yeah, so TikTok, I mean, one of the things I do want to say is that you don't have to be an influencer to go famous on TikTok, and that's what makes TikTok so cool. It actually didn't start with, the Madison Beers of the world or the Charlie D'Amelios of the world. They were just regular kids that happened to go viral because they were good at dancing. And that's kind of what I like about it, that you don't have to be this huge sort of celebrity to get on there and actually make a difference, like reach wise. Like you can actually do something on there that's going to get to people and be featured on that elusive FYP or For You page that everybody wants to be on. It's kind of like the featured page on Instagram per se.
Right.
And you can do that without being a young kid that's dancing or a famous person. I looked at it at first like it was this annoying teenage thing that I had to kind of yell at my kids about all the time because they were just spending so much time on it instead of doing, in my opinion, something more productive.
Mm-hmm.
And I would get mad and my daughter would say, you could really be doing something on there. So I had her open it up one day and she decided she was going to create me an account. And she's like, well, what do you want your username to be? And I said, well, I am my brand. It's always Evie's Creations. So use Evie's Creations. So she went ahead and started it and she posted one video. And I want to say this was back in February or January. I don't know. I can't really go back that far in my feed, but it was, one video. And then I didn't open TikTok again until I guess about 2 weeks before quarantine set in. And I opened it because of quarantine, because I was bored. And I started seeing, a whole bunch of artists because of the way the algorithm works. And it's a very funny thing. Like you get the videos in your For You page that have to do with what you're excited about.
Right.
So you'll see videos like if you're this, if you're that, then you're probably seeing me in your For You page. So I was seeing a lot of art, and a lot of different just either musicians or artists because that's what I do. That's what I love to do. And I decided I was going to start posting my own videos. And I posted a wrap up for the last trip that I did before quarantine set in, which was the Philly Home Show. And so I posted a little video of myself teaching people how to make solo wood flower arrangements. And that was that. And then it only got I think it got 50 views. And I was like, what? This is pointless. This is useless. But my daughter was like, just keep going, just keep posting. So I started posting almost every day, just little funny things that I would see in my day or little tutorials, or I would basically take my YouTube videos and speed them up and put them in there on a minute because you either have 15 seconds or you have 60 seconds. That's it. So I started doing the minute long things and I realized that one of my videos got a pretty good reach. And I was like, all right, the next time I do a video, I'm going to drop my affiliate link in there. So I did. And I opened up.
You get one link, is that right?
So you don't really, the thing is you don't really get links. You have to, in order to have a clickable link on your profile, you have to have at least 1,000 followers, which I still don't. I'm still working on.
Okay.
And I basically what I created was a bit.ly because that's easy to remember and it's also trackable. And that was my experiment was like, let me put a bit.ly in here and it's going to be the
let's explain what a bit.ly is. A bit.ly is a link with bit.ly that you can customize.
Yeah.
And it can link to whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
And so my bit.ly was very easy. It was my brand name. And I think it was Unicorn Spit was the first one I did. And it was like my name, brand, and Unicorn Spit. I opened up my Unicorn Spit affiliate, platform and dashboard, I want to say 3 days later. And I had 4 new conversions. And they were bit.ly because I tracked it, in bit.ly, I literally tracked it. And they were directly coming from TikTok. So I was like, okay. So I started posting.
So wait, okay. So now let's step back for 1 second.
Sure.
In TikTok, it's a musical platform.
Yes.
Meaning what you do, and they've got cool current songs that I don't know how you get to use them, but they have this whole library. So really, it's video set to music with captions.
Yes. You have to remember that not just the dances are going viral, but the sounds. So what you're calling a song on TikTok, you call a sound. And it doesn't have to be. It actually doesn't have to be a very recent hip songs. Obviously, there have been artists that have gotten TikTok famous and then made it crossed over into the actual, Billboard music charts. That's happened too. You do very, very, very famous TikTok songs that everybody knows are those artists. However, there are also sounds that people take from silly sounds, things people say during a movie or things that have been said in, past shows or even just little weird things that back in the Musical.ly and Vine days went viral. They're also going viral because actually TikTok used to be Musical.ly and it became TikTok just recently.
Yes.
And so
I think
there's a lot of
purchased Musical.ly.
Yes,
that's what happened. Okay.
Yes. And so I started sort of taking the most popular sounds, and that's what you want to remember is that the sounds are going to whatever's popular and trending at that moment is what's going to get you on that For You page. So I started doing that. I started taking the popular sounds and putting my videos to it. And as soon as I did that, it increased how many people like started viewing my, my videos. The first video, I think I did only like 300 on it, and hashtags helped too, of course. I
Yes.
think I only did like 300 on my first video, but I was floored. I was like, yes, 377 views. That's great. And before I knew it, I realized if you are very honest and very real and like kind of funny too, it'll get it going a little more. So I posted a funny compilation of me scaring my daughter, because that's something that I do almost every day. My daughter, she's very easily startled. My daughter gets scared if you happen to walk in her direction and say hi. So so I'm the mean mommy that every time she's in the car, I'll turn around and go boo, and she freaks out. So I posted one of those, and everybody was like, oh, that's so funny, and I had some people follow me from that. And then I started posting old footage from, Comic-Con and all the different events that I present at, that I work at, because I am a little nerdy. So I do things like Comic-Con. Then I posted like an Amazon live video, because I just did an Amazon live tutorial back in October for Halloween. So I posted that, and I kept adding my unicorn spit, and my Cricut Bitleys and every single product that I use. And before I knew it, I had a video reach 20,000 views, and I had something like 114 sales off that video alone. And the video
Wow.
was so stupid and so simple. It was literally me pouring the unicorn spit into the cup that I was mixing it into, and I left the original audio. Now I usually mute myself or record a voiceover like over whatever I do. But that day I thought it was funny. My son and I, my oldest and I, were just talking smack. Like we were just saying funny things about somebody that, he was like, somebody that we know that we work with or whatever, like he's gonna snap. Like people don't realize how crazy people are, and they're gonna snap. And so he said that, and I kept the audio going because I thought it was so funny that he was saying these things. And all of a sudden he realized I was filming. He's like, Mom, are you filming? And I was like, yeah, I'm filming. And he was like, you're gonna delete the audio, right? And I said, yeah, I'm gonna. Let me tell you, that went viral, which was so funny to me, because I was just like, okay, the silliest thing is what went viral. And after that, I have been very lucky that every single video I post, especially the Cricut ones, especially the unicorn spit, I make sales off of. So that's what we're doing. I'm trying to get to that elusive million, because once you get the
You,
million,
you
everything
a
else kind of
million
goes
or
up.
1,000?
No, million. So you need a million views on one
A
video, and the
million
algorithm
views.
will
Okay,
start pushing you.
got it. Well,
Yeah.
okay, so you need 1,000 followers to get the ability to add a link, but you need a
Yes.
million views for them to recognize you and start promoting you.
Yeah, and I'm not so much promoting, because I mean you won't get verified until you have millions and millions and millions of views. But definitely the algorithm finds that elusive 1 million, that perfect 1 million number on a video to have a little more weight in the
Yeah.
algorithm than
Okay.
something else does. So at that point, your other videos will start feeling a little push too. Once you have one video start going viral, it actually starts showing your other videos to the different people on your platform. And for the record, most of my views are from the For You. They're not necessarily from followers, because there's another tip. If you are a business, don't use the individual account, use the pro account, because then you can see your analytics. You can go in and see everything that you've posted by content, what's gone viral, what's trending, what's not, how many followers you have. You can even see demographics in that same platform. So I figured out what time, because of the analytics, I figured out what time my posts have gone technically, more quote unquote viral than others. And that's when I started posting. So for me, posting at 10 a.m. works, 3 p.m. works, and anywhere between 8 and 10 p.m. My videos don't get viewed until like the middle of the night, but for some reason, those are the times that I get views. So you have to figure out not just who's following you, but what time they're watching. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
and you are literally typing the Bitly link on
Yeah.
as like a, a little piece of text on top of the video, and people are remembering your Bitly link.
Yes.
So they're not
Yes.
clicking on
I don't
anything.
just put it there.
Okay,
I don't
where
just put it there. I put it in the actual video, and then I make a comment. So the other thing is, and this is so funny to say because it's embarrassing, but the other thing that my daughter taught me on TikTok, if you comment on your own post, that helps everything. So what I'm doing is I'm commenting one post, and if you see most of the creators do this, they post their video, and then like there's one young girl that jokingly says first, because all the kids comment and whoever comments first, like it's a thing they do first, second, or what, like I'm here early, So there's this one TikToker, very famous TikToker, that like very famously puts first as her own first comment, which I think is hilarious. But that's helping herself. That's actually helping that content get more views. So what I took my first comment to be was my bit.ly. So I say, shop all of my links here, or unicorn, I'll tag Unicorn Spit on the app and I'll say, love repping you, and so that converts to sales, that it converts people. Oh, well, let me check out that page. What else can I do with this product? And before you know it, you're getting actual tracked, sales from TikTok.
Got it. So in your first comment, you're putting your bit.ly link, which by the way, it's not a live link, but at least somebody could potentially copy and paste it. So you're putting it in the video with text and then as your first comment.
Yes. And sometimes, only sometimes, as the caption. Sometimes I put no caption because I find that those videos do better. So I just use the hashtags, not just the caption. And sometimes just for fun, I actually tried the other day. I was like, it seemed the algorithm seems to also read your caption and find out what you're saying. So if you mention the For You page on your caption, it'll take it as a hashtag, even if you don't use a hashtag. So I jokingly posted myself doing I think it was a Canvas tutorial. And I said, look, Ma, no hashtags. And that also got, equally as many views as my other stuff got, which was funny to me. I was like, oh, and then people will comment For You page and, like they get excited that they've seen something on the FYP with no hashtag. So more comments equals more viral, more virality and more sort of, it enhances the weight in the algorithm. So that helps too. And I'll ask a question and people answer. When you ask a question and you motivate somebody to answer, guess what? That's also helping the weight of your algorithm, in the algorithm of your post.
Right, because you're getting interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Okay. So how often are you now posting on TikTok?
So I'm trying to post about 3 times a day.
Wow.
Yeah. And the thing is that I happen to be lucky enough to have endless hours of footage because I have been doing what I do for 10 years. So I'm not just putting current posts up. Like today, what I put up was, a throwback to an event that I did last summer, which I know is not going to happen this summer because of COVID. So I said, I doubt this event will happen. I miss it, but here it is. And it's just little clips that I took from Instagram. Like, for example, I have a whole bunch of old Insta, story posts. I have a whole bunch of, YouTube videos. I have a whole bunch of footage that I've taken from all the different times I've gone on a morning news show or every time I've gone and done, any TV show. I keep all of that, on purpose because it's promotion, obviously, and it helps. So I've been feeding all of those videos into TikTok. And that's basically all I'm doing is just taking old stuff and whatever new projects I'm doing and making little clips of them, and like, for example, one project I got 4 clips out of, 4 whole posts out of. The first one was me pouring the paint. That's the one that kind of like got a lot of traction. The second was the whole tutorial, telling people from start to finish how to make this really cool canvas that I made. The third one was, did you know you can iron onto wood, and so it's just talking about the specifics of the project. Well, you can, here's how. And I just showed the small clip of me ironing onto the wood. So you can get a lot of different clips out of one video. And that's what I've been doing.
Now, are you putting affiliate links into every single video?
No, I think it's important to be fun, organic, and I think it's important to not necessarily be in everybody's faces 24/7 about what you do. Obviously, when you follow my page, that I'm a business. It's Evie's Creations. It says at the very top, shop my favorites here, so everybody knows that I'm an influencer. I disclose it, obviously. But at the same time, I think it's important to just be yourself. So like yesterday I went all the way down south to deliver a gift to my sister-in-law to my sister on her porch, because it was her birthday and I didn't get to spend it with her. When I got onto her porch, her dog was outside, and what ended up happening was he came into my lap, and that was that. So I posted a video of myself just holding him, and he just was so excited to see me that he was just nuzzling me, and I was like, it's just puppy love, and this is great. So you post little moments too. You don't have to always be a business. You have to be accessible. I also posted a video of a birthday little video for my sister, my best friend, and I posted all the funny little clips from when, over the years, as well as how we met, because she's not really my sister. I call her my sister, but she's literally my best friend for 20 years. So, I think it's important to also set up, information about your life and be accessible. It's not just I'm a business, go buy my stuff.
Got it. Now, in terms of, okay, so my daughter explained it this way, and you can tell me if you agree. Instagram versus TikTok. My daughter says Instagram is a little bit more about me, look at my life. And TikTok is more about me entertaining you. Now, I know there's, of course, overlap and lots of stuff on Instagram is to entertain you, but it seems the TikTok seems a little more playful, a little
Yeah.
more let me make you smile or laugh or come up with some funny, quirky thing. It feels quirkier than Instagram,
Yeah.
even with Instagram stories. And would you agree with that?
I agree 100% with that. Instagram is curated. TikTok can be curated to a certain degree. You will have like some of the bigger TikTokers that are very specific about their content, but for the most part, what I like about it is that anybody can get TikTok famous because it's just a more fun platform. I personally haven't danced on it.
Okay.
But I think that's so much fun. I think people that put themselves out there like that, it's amazing. Like, I have filmed a couple dance videos. I just haven't posted them because I'm me and weird.
Okay.
But at the same time, I think you can have a lot more fun. Like the fact that like one of the videos I post, like I said, was me just messing with my daughter. Another one was my daughter had a fail when she was installing her strip lighting, her LED lighting, and it was funny as heck. So I freaking posted it. You know what I mean? Like, you can definitely laugh at stuff that happens. You can definitely see a lot of the content creators posting funny moments that they've gone through. I think that's what makes it accessible.
Now,
You know?
how are you managing all of your social media platforms? I see that you're big on YouTube. You make videos and they're pretty well put together. Like
Thank you.
they feel really professional. Whereas as you're describing TikTok, it's much more playful. It's a little rougher around the edges. How do you manage? I'm assuming Instagram is important for you, Facebook,
Yeah.
now TikTok. First of all, how do you manage them? And two, how do you monetize these platforms?
So the most important one for me is actually Facebook. YouTube helps because I can edit all of my videos and then post them on there, and that helps because Google SEO. Google loves Google, so that's huge
Right,
to
of
have
course.
Google SEO. For me, I I would be lying if I didn't say I spend the majority of my day on social media because I do. However, I have made it a point to try to set times. So I'll say to my kids, from this time to this time, I'm going to be working on a video. Nobody talk to me, unless it's like an emergency,
Right.
because it's the same thing if I was leaving my house to go work at an office, that's how it would be anyway. My home is my office. So I do try to set timers for myself. I set goals, I set alarms. I tell myself from this time to this time and tasks, and lists. From this time to this time I'm doing this. From that time if I don't finish it, then I'll finish it tomorrow at that time. I try not to stay up too late, doing these things. Obviously there are times where it happens, things go wrong. Like yesterday I was editing a video and my computer turned off and I forgot to save it. So
Ooh, I hate that.
I had to
Yes.
start all over again.
Yep.
So like that happens to all of us, even those that try to work efficiently. But the reality is you can't let it consume you. I do schedule posts for Facebook because I haven't recently, but I used to also manage social media for companies. And so what I would say to myself and what I would say to the brands that I was working with is these are the days you have me from this time to this time. I'm going to go in and I'm going to schedule a whole month out, so I would go in and schedule on one Friday enough posts for 2 months or 1 month. And so I would just go in and answer and questions and kind of interact. Obviously the groups take up more of my time. The groups are tough. I contribute to not just my own groups, but I contribute to a few different companies, again, in keeping with the whole I love my brands that I work with and I have a relationship with them. I help them out to answer questions when I know their offices are closed, because I happen to kind of stay up that way anyway. Like I like being up at night. I like working at night. So I will go into the Unicorn Spit group and answer questions at 3 a.m. I know nobody else is doing that. I just happen to do that. And that's something that I personally enjoy doing. So if it becomes work, that's a problem. So for me, enjoy what you're doing and definitely set timers and task lists and organize yourself so that you're not having to be, sitting in front of your social media the entire day. Um, you
Okay.
know,
So Facebook is very important to you, both
Yes.
your own page and you've got groups, and then you're helping out with other brands' groups.
Yep.
And then are you posting on Instagram every day? Are you making videos for YouTube every day? And then you've got TikTok now.
So I'm not making videos every day. Again, I sit myself down. One of the things that I do is, and everybody kind of like it's a running joke. The people that follow me, it's like a running joke that we have. If you're getting an Evie's Creations video, it's going to have almost every single brand that I work with in that video. So I'm working smart. You know what I mean? That one, the canvas, the wooden canvas that everybody likes it was there's this rapper that passed away. So one of my son's friends is obsessed with this rapper. That was like his favorite rapper. So for his birthday, I made a wooden canvas of his favorite rapper. On that wooden canvas, I covered Cricut because it was an iron-on project. It was glitter HTV from Cricut, and I used my Easy Press and I used my maker. Unicorn spit was what I sealed it. I mean, was what I stained it with. The spray that I love that I always buy off Amazon. That was an Amazon link. So I try to make sure that I list every product and I try to make sure that I'm using multiple products in one go, because then I have content for different companies and different brands, and I can make little tiny mini videos for TikTok or for Snap, or Instagram. I can photograph very, very cleanly because, again, curated, right? Every step of the way, or the finished product. And that's so out of one post, out of one project, I'm getting every social media and all the companies I work with. You know what I mean?
Wow. Now let's order based on how much you are making via affiliate income. Which are your most profitable platforms?
Well, right now, I mean, for a long time, it's always been Facebook. So Facebook is number one, but right now TikTok is definitely competing. I never thought it would. I honestly did not expect it to. I didn't go into TikTok expecting to make a crap ton of money, but I'm shocked that I have, because apparently TikTok kids will buy anything that they see on TikTok.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
yeah, I mean there are actually TikTok accounts that I have run into that are nothing but Amazon finds,
Mm.
because TikTok people will buy anything. And if you have an Amazon storefront, they're going to shop every single item you have on your Amazon storefront. So right now I'm in the process of making and creating just static pages on my site. So instead of having all the different bit.lys, so bit.ly unicorn spit, bit.ly cricket, like having every single one that I have, I literally had bit.ly like slash Evie's fave finds, and you go to one page on my blog now, and all of my links, everything is embedded in a very pretty picture. I made like a grid of all of my products. So I'm trying to work smarter. It's obviously evolving as I go along, and I am doing a little bit of research, trying to figure out what exactly does better, what types of products do better. And I do find that Amazon finds are huge. So I've always had an Amazon storefront. I've always been an Amazon affiliate. So I'm working on that platform now.
Right. And the other thing too is Facebook now has their shop functionality where
Yes.
they are going after Amazon. It's still too early, I think, to tell, but I saw you had made a video on like, oh,
Yes.
here's how to set up your Facebook shop.
Yeah, I actually think there will be more of a competition for Etsy rather than
Mm.
I don't see it. I don't foresee Facebook shops taking over Amazon shops, because Amazon is your one-stop shop.
Mhm.
If Facebook, every store is going to be different. I really don't sell much. It's funny because everybody goes, well, what do you do with all the stuff you make? Well, that's the stuff that I sell, or a lot of them are gifts. I personally don't, you know, except for Christmas time. I sell ornaments at Christmas time because that's just something I like doing. I personally don't make a finished product for sale.
Mm.
There are, unless you're ordering a giant order or small, like local little customs, like this weekend, I'm doing a onesie for a friend of a friend. But I don't necessarily sell. However, I know so many bloggers, so many individual people that follow my blog, individual that are in my groups, crafters, that they literally make to sell. That's all they do. That's their whole livelihood. And I think those are the people that are going to be opening Facebook shops. I think Facebook was so smart to install this new feature. I'm actually really excited about it. For people like me who don't want to pay a fee on Etsy, year round to keep up one thing, because the one thing I keep up year round are these etched glasses that I make. And I'm, again, a big, huge nerd, so they're bookish and inspired glasses. That's the only thing I keep up. That and maybe a canvas or two that I can easily reproduce, For me, it makes sense to go to Facebook shops because I'm not going to have to pay a listing fee every time I have to relist to keep that active, post up on Etsy. For people who are making a whole bunch of money on Etsy, Etsy might be a better platform because they have way more strict guidelines than I think Facebook will have. I think Facebook will run into some problems. I think, you're going to be able to contest a lot more on Facebook than you're going to be able to contest on a platform like Etsy that has been set up for so long and has worked for so long. However,
what do you mean by contest? You mean like trademark and
not
copyright?
even trademarks, because Facebook does a really good job. I've seen Facebook pages of crafters completely shut down for selling Disney, for example.
Okay.
But I'm saying more, from the consumer end. If you're not happy with something, it's a little more difficult to contest it in Etsy because you have to have receipts. You have to have they literally ask for screenshots of you messaging the Etsy seller to see if they actually responded or not. I think Facebook notoriously has had, that report button that everybody gets away with reporting, so I think that might be a problem. I think, they might, haven't seen too deeply into what their policies are, their terms of service, but Facebook has that sort of history of deleting pages with what people feel is no valid reason, but they saw something on it, so they'll do it,
Right.
It's a little more difficult to do that on Etsy. So if you're a giant seller on Etsy, you might want to stay on Etsy. Or if you have your Shopify, that's even better,
Right.
But
and you don't have to pay then to list things on your Facebook page.
I haven't seen that you have. I could be totally wrong because I set up a very preliminary, item sort of for that video. I wanted to go ahead. One of the things that I do in my groups is I talk to the crafters and I talk to my viewers that are selling, to get feedback from them. And I also try to help people. I'm like I said, I'm not an expert. What I do is different than everybody else. I'm a blogger, but I don't consider myself a big blogger. I don't consider myself important enough to give blogging advice, but I have figured out ways to make a living for myself, and a lot of it is just business sense, I guess, that my dad sort of imparted on me. So I try to offer that to my readers as well. That's why I do the videos, how to do that shop on Facebook,
Right.
Or how do you, the tutorial videos on how to make your Cricut business more profitable, stuff like that. I try to help people, so that's why I posted that. But I don't know, I think it definitely has potential. I'm excited about Facebook shops. I haven't really been excited about anything except TikTok lately, but I got excited about the Facebook shops the other day. So
I love that. All right, Evie, if people want to see what you're doing on TikTok, how do they find you?
Again, my handle is Evie's Creations. It is very important to stick to your brand, and that is my brand name.
Yep, I get it.
I am my brand. My picture is on everything, so you see me. But it's EVEYS Creations on TikTok, on Instagram, and Snapchat.
And if people want to reach out to you just to ask you questions, what's the easiest way?
The easiest way is to either post any of your questions in any of my groups. And again, if you just search Evie's Creations in Facebook, everything pops up. I do have a bookish nerdy group, but that's specifically for Cricut crafters. But if you have any sort of question, you can always email me. It's info@eviescreations.com. Or you could just reach out to me on any of the social media platforms, the many social media platforms that I am on all day long.
I love that. It sounds like you just have so much energy, and I get why people respond to you so much and why you connect so much on social media.
Thank you.
Well, I have to say, this has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was so exciting.
Who is downloading the TikTok app right now after listening to this episode? I highly recommend you do. Start playing around with it, see what you think. And if you would follow me on both Catch My Party and MiloTree, I would so appreciate it. And if you want to follow back, just email me, reach out to me at jillian@milotree.com, and I will happily follow you back. So, and also if you are using TikTok in new and interesting ways, I want to hear about it. Please let me know. And I will see you here again next week.